that way, Bruce. He likes to stay far away from me and everything. So, but we're just talking ASU. We'll get more into it here. But since you came in,
I'd rather talk SMU and Baylor. To be honest with you.
We can talk about both of them. Fair.
Did you watch that game?
I did. I did.
Just so you know, Steve, this man sitting to your left still owes me about 4 steak dinners.
No. He's retired now, Dale. He can't do that.
Oh, he's got more money coming in from Channel 12 retirement than you can shake his stick at. Yeah, because he obviously an ASU guy, went to ASU, ASU homer. Breaks his heart when they lose, but he picked them to win the Pac-12 like 4 straight years, and that's what him and I were hanging out.
Well, that's one thing I'm going to bring up, Dale. He picked the Cardinals last year to win the division and fight with the Niners on that.
Yeah.
But I will tell you this, Bruce. I said it. I think you were probably at the banquet when we gave away my dad's scholarship, and Dillingham and Charlie Regal were there.
Right. I was there.
I've become an ASU fan after 40 years.
He's a big Kenny Dillingham fan. That's what it took. Kenny Dillingham to bring Dale on over to the good side.
Yeah, and I think you know the story, and then we can go wherever Steve wants to take. But Frank Kush couldn't put a 3-cent stamp on an envelope to recruit me. And so I held it against ASU for 40 years. And now Kenny Dillingham, Regal, Mons, those guys are over there. And I'm a fan. So that's what makes it disappointing.
Do you think Kenny Dillingham would have recruited you?
Yes. He knows talent, Steve. He knows talent.
What do you think on that, Bruce?
I think Dale would have been passed over.
Yeah. Only good enough to play at SMU,
That's great.
Yeah.
But so what do you, before we take our break here, what do you do with yourself nowadays? Retired? I know you're traveling, seeing your family and all that stuff, but what are you doing like on a Saturday? Are you just watching college football all day long?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. All day. And matter of fact, I have to admit I did enjoy an afternoon game. There was a certain game that I was watching that they're called the ponies, the cowboys, the Mustangs,
Pony Express.
They had a 2-touchdown lead. And I said, oh my gosh, I know someone's happy in North Scottsdale.
Baylor didn't have the lead until until second overtime, right? When they won it and they kicked it.
It was a beautiful, and that made my Saturday.
Wow.
In Gerald J. Ford Stadium or whatever it is. Yeah.
There you go. Well, hey, unfortunately, SMU and ASU had great seasons last year. Surprisingly great seasons. And now they're both 1-1.
Yeah, look, we can get more into ASU after the break if you want to, but I was very disappointed. Very disappointed with the Sun Devils.
Well, that's obviously something I want to talk about with you. Cardinals as well over the weekend. We have a bunch of NFL stuff, and my prediction on Niners being injured is coming true after week 1.
Yeah.
It didn't take long for Kittle, did it?
No.
Of course. Do you follow high school football still?
I do.
Closely?
I do.
All right. Do you have an inside source? What's going on with Tate Reynolds? That's what I need to know from you.
Well, let me tell you something. I think Tate Reynolds is absolutely the most talented quarterback in the state.
Really?
I mean, he's second to none.
Queen Creek High School.
Absolutely.
Football.
I'll have to admit that I'm very disappointed that he's going to Clemson. I think that highly of the kid.
He's going for baseball.
Clearly. Well, let me tell you something. Clemson doesn't have necessarily a better baseball program than Arizona State traditionally, no doubt about that. But look, I'm all about the kid making his own choice. I'm just disappointed from a personal standpoint because I think he's that good.
Right.
He's that talented. I like to see great talented kids in state, stay in state.
Oh, of course.
But I understand why he wants to live. I mean, leave. I talked to a lot of kids that are in a similar situation. They grew up in Arizona. It's been their life. They want to get out on their own, and I respect and understand that.
Well, it's getting out on your own and not going across the country to do it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm just speaking from a personal standpoint, but from his standpoint, I mean, you got to be ecstatic. I mean, the kid is a highly celebrated, highly recruited quarterback. I mean, you talk about a dual threat at quarterback position. That's him, and again, he's a very accomplished baseball player. So he's a 2 sports star, something Dale Hellestrade knows nothing about.
Yeah, no, I went to the Queen Creek game because my kids go to there, and I went to that game, and then he didn't play I'm assuming a knee injury, but nobody knows. Nobody's saying what it is last weekend and everything. I'm probably going to go this weekend too. for another senior thing for my kids and everything. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna miss him twice now. What is
Well,
going
he had
on?
a big brace on his
Yeah,
leg.
it was one, and it didn't bend at all. So that tells me it's a serious knee injury. But everybody was mum about it there in the stand. That's for sure. So.
He's a difference maker. I mean, without him, I mean, the Bulldogs are pretty much maybe an average team at best.
He's a prototypical. He looks like, and I've never seen him play in person, but he looks like a prototypical quarterback.
Oh, he's
In
a
the old days.
very athletic kid. I mean, he can run as well as he can throw the ball. I mean, and the thing I love about him is his accuracy on the move. I mean, you can flush him out of the pocket. He can roll right, scramble back left, and find someone and pick him out on the move and deliver accurately. Or he could just keep it and make he could turn a 15-yard loss into an 85-yard touchdown.
So, so who would you take, Levitt, Manning, or Tate Reynolds?
Well, I tell you what, I do love the heart of Sam Levitt, no doubt about it. But I tell you what, the athleticism that I see with Tate Reynolds, I mean, Manning and Levitt aren't in that conversation.
And you said Tate Reynolds, best quarterback in the state.
Absolutely, there's no question in my mind.
Yeah.
No question in my mind.
And I keep my fingers crossed that it's nothing serious because I am such a proponent.
I'm not rooting for it.
Such a proponent of two sport guys in high school. If you can do three sports, do three. But man, you don't want to see an injury. I don't know if he's a better football or baseball player.
Well, they say baseball.
Okay.
They say it's not close from
Really?
what I heard that
Okay.
before.
Well, if that's the case, he's going to be a first-round draft pick right out of high school in baseball then, because that kid's a tremendous football player.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's what I've been reading. I mean, he wasn't even on the Clemson's football radar, or he might have been, but he committed baseball first, which also might mean he just likes baseball better and maybe sees. You know, if I had a choice between football and baseball, I might go baseball too. Long term.
Most times you're not in a big knee brace when you're playing baseball.
Exactly. And the paychecks these days, yeah, you might want to go there.
Are you trying to say that post football you don't want to walk around and look like Dale Hellestrand?
Right.
We should have a walking contest, Coop and I.
Well, you can play baseball for 19 years. I'm not, football's a rarity to get that far, and old man Calais Campbell did it over the weekend as well.
Isn't it? My goodness.
Yeah, so when we come back, let's get into it with Bruce, of course, joining us on Tuesdays here during the football season. Going to be a fun time. We'll talk about somebody he's seen multiple times, Brock Purdy. The often injured Brock Purdy is what I'm going to start calling him. We'll talk about that and so much more. Come on back. It's the main event with Bruce Cooper. Back here, main event Tuesday. He's normally going to be with us till 10 o'clock today. He's got to take off a little bit early. Hey, it's that time of year, man. You help out charities. You're retired. Help out, what do they call it? Turkey
Tuesday,
Turkey
yeah.
Tuesday again.
He's the busiest retired guy in the valley. You know what I'm saying? But when your day doesn't start till 9 o'clock, usually.
So he's going to be with us a little today, but you're joining us every Tuesday coming forward.
Every Tuesday. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it.
Going to be fun?
Yeah, because we already know that we got to team up to bring some sensibility to the show because of someone to our far right.
The intelligence level on the show
absolutely.
just shot through the roof here with Bruce. If you don't know Bruce, a long time, 37 years, I believe, right? Channel 12, sports director at the end there as well. He was the Cam Cox before Cam Cox was Cam Cox. Is that the way you describe it? Yeah, well, I'm just saying for people that watch it today, that was Bruce before.
Yeah, I'll be teaming up with Cam Cox today. He'll be part of the meeting. We're to shoot a promo for Turkey Tuesday. Of course, that's coming up in November. And
we're going to talk to you about that throughout the time as well, and obviously help you promote that out there as well because it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my one compliment about Bruce Cooper out of the way. It's never happening again.
You mean there is one?
Hey, Bruce and I have done quite a few things together. And I will say this about Bruce. He's the only guy in the Valley that's involved in the media, and you were for a long, long time, that I can't get anybody to say a bad thing about. Everybody loves Bruce Cooper, and in this business, it's hard to do that. You make enemies and things like that.
Yeah, oh God, you just say one sports opinion and half the Valley hates you.
but Bruce was loved all through his career.
Yeah, I can't say the same about Dale.
No.
I mean, I actually had to come to Dale's defense. Of course, we'll leave that for another day.
Well, you had problems with that organization.
I did too.
as well,
I
so.
did too. No question about it. So I can't give him too much crap about that.
I think everybody has problems with that organization, to be honest with you. But you did Friday Night Lights. You started that up there on Channel 12. If you still follow that, and deep roots into the high school football. Obviously ASU Cardinals as well. So it's going to be fun. And now that you're watching a lot of college football and football over the weekend, it's going to be fun to see. JJ McCarthy. This is what I want to start off.
Oh,
with.
wow.
Because it's fresh from last night. I am not a JJ McCarthy fan. I don't think he's going to be good. But that was one heck of a fourth quarter last night. Was it the Bears defense sucking, or was it JJ McCarthy waking up and playing well?
Well, it could be a little bit of both. No, I'll share your sentiments. I was not that overly impressed with J.J. McCarthy at Michigan. And so I'll tell you this, he looked far more athletic than I saw him when he quarterbacked Michigan under Jim Harbaugh. He really did.
In that fourth quarter last night, I agree with you. I was like, who is that kid?
I didn't know he had that in him. And so, look, I think Chicago got to the point to where they're going to try to work the clock in their favor because they had a 2-touchdown advantage, 2-score advantage. And next thing you know, there was a big run by Jordan Mason, and that seemed to really spark the Vikings, and there was no slowing them down at that point. And then Caleb Williams, I thought he got a little bit too ad-libby, if you will, if that's a word. I mean, he
making his own choices.
Yeah,
on the field,
I thought he had opportunities in a short passing game that I've seen Ben Johnson utilize with Detroit Lions and Jared Goff. I thought he had opportunities to hit, DJ Moore. Right, and a Doomsday.
He had a big miss on DJ Moore.
And so that forced a 3-and-out when they needed to really milk some more clock. So you got the ball right back to Minnesota, and look, all that pressure Chicago was able to put on J.J. McCarthy in the first 3 quarters. I mean, where did it go?
That's what I kind of say. Was it Chicago going, we've got this game won. We don't, we just have to coast now. Dale, your thoughts? You're the Minnesota Vikings fan.
Well, I just picked them to win because I know what's going to happen. Well, what's interesting about J.J. McCarthy, and he got hit in the mouth. I mean, you're down, you're on the road, your first start, and all that stuff, and then you throw a pick six.
Against, by the way, his favorite team growing up was the Chicago Bears.
In Chicago area, and throws a pick six. Well, right there's do or die situation, and even Troy talked about it because you see JJ go over the sideline. He's talking to his offensive line. Hey, let's go, let's pick it up. And Troy's in that situation his rookie year, throwing pick sixes and whatever. He goes, kind of a hollow feeling when you're going over your offensive line and you just threw a pick six. But to see him respond to that positively, I'm going to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff. I think that head coach is really good.
If he's not the best in the NFL, he's one of the top.
He's really good.
Kevin O'Connell?
Yeah, Kevin O'Connell. He did it last year with Sam Darnold.
Yes, he did.
Did you see it at the end of the game, though, on that kickoff? The returner caught it and then looked to the sideline, and he's telling him to bring it out to waste clock.
Yeah.
No, what other coach does that?
Well, to me that was so weird because as a kickoff returner, you're concentrating on the football, but he caught it and then he looked.
Yes.
And it's such a genius play.
Yeah.
But here's where I said, even watching the game at that point, I said, I don't know that Cairo can get the ball past the end line. I said, so they have to kick the ball out of bounds on the side. That way they'd give up the ball at the 40-yard line, but you still would get that extra timeout you need.
And that was the most important.
Right. But the fact that they allowed them to run it out, I said, well, Ben Johnson just lost the game right there.
Yeah. No, it was great. I just think that J.J. McCarthy, and I told Steve this, and I don't even know who I heard it from some players, that the players love J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
And
really?
and they were responding to him. Yeah, I told you that, but you.
No, I reacted the same way when you told me that before.
Yeah,
I honestly.
And so that gave me, some uplifting thing of like, hey, this kid's got something. I don't know what it is because I'm like you. It's like, okay, you won the national championship at Michigan, but boy, you had a bunch of first rounders with you and all that.
And they ran the ball a lot.
Yeah. That defense at Michigan was I thought the standout part of the team.
Right.
But again, hats off to JJ because I certainly didn't see in college what he showcased Monday night.
He made some really nice throws. That run that he made,
Yeah.
I mean, hey, it's a great play call, and it was executed. Even the tight end downfield blocking, but boy, he turned on the Jets and got in the end zone.
Yeah, he did. And again, even when Chicago was putting the pressure on him, he was able to evade maybe one rusher, a second, but the third would get him. And so even his elusiveness in the pocket, despite the fact that he still got sacked, I was impressed with it. Again, I didn't see that in Michigan.
Yeah,
so
but
I
at the
think
same time, it's still the Bears.
yeah. But I'll tell you what, I think O'Connell is a terrific head coach because Sam Darnold. I mean, here's a guy who admitted to seeing ghosts when he was in New York.
He didn't look good on Sunday with the Seahawks.
No, you put him with the Vikings. I mean, the first 15, 16 games of the season, he looked outstanding.
Until they played the Lions in that last game, and then the playoff, and then it was like, all right, he's.
But he still won 14. Kyler Murray wins 14 games. I'll live with that.
Dale's right. He won 14 games and looked magnificent. I think he threw 35 touchdown passes, and I'm like, who is this guy?
Right.
And so obviously, what he's doing with McCarthy is spectacular. And then I noticed that Joshua Dobbs had to go there a couple seasons ago when they started getting some injuries, and we saw Dobbs in the Cardinal country do some pretty electric things early, but he mainly did it with his feet. But I saw Dobbs do a lot of things in the passing game in addition to his feet in Minnesota, to where I'm really a Kevin O'Connell fan. I think he's one of the top coaches in the NFL.
I'd probably put him and
McVay.
Yeah, and I'd say the Rams coach McVay. Those are the first two names off my lips.
Sure.
If I'm talking about the best coach.
Oh, it's totally Leonard Cohen from Jacksonville. I don't know what you two are talking about.
Leonard Cohen. I thought that's a Federal Reserve guy.
I don't even know that's his name. I hesitated because I was like, is his name Leonard? It's Cohen. I know that from that side.
Liam.
Is it Liam? Liam Cohen. That's right. Liam. I was like, I know it's something like that. But it's interesting to see. But I mean, then you got, like the Ravens Bills, where John Harbaugh has given up 17 double-digit leads in his there in the fourth quarter to lose games in Baltimore. And he's just, don't play now. How long's he been there? Forever.
12 years, 13 years.
He's been there longer than that.
And he, you know what you got with him. I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with him. Am I wrong?
Well, they've won a Super Bowl with him.
Yeah, but I'm talking about.
Oh, you're talking about now. Well,
consistently.
I'll say this. I don't know what it is, but you're right. They have great regular seasons when they get into playoffs, and you used to be able to point your finger at Lamar Jackson, and say, hey, he plays differently in the playoffs than he does.
Because he never had any wide receivers,
right?
So it was easy to shut him down.
Even last year, I saw Lamar and the Ravens kind of turn the corner because they made this magnificent comeback, and a guy that I covered here in high school, Mark Andrews.
Yes.
I mean, he had a huge turnover and then an even bigger drop on a 2-point conversion in his hand that would have tied the game, sent it to overtime. So I really like what the Ravens are doing. Matter of fact, they're my favorite to win the Super Bowl because I think they have the most talent, to be honest with you, on both sides of the ball. But Derrick Henry, who I keep saying, he's going to fall off the wagon this year because he's getting too old. Running backs his age,
31 years old.
Running backs on the other side of 30 shouldn't be doing what he's doing,
and especially not the way he runs.
Right.
They break down quicker.
And he had those 2 huge long touchdown runs because he has surprising speed. It's sprinter speed, and he had that huge fumble.
Well, yeah.
It's like
that's what turned the tide.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like whatever can go wrong. It's almost like they're snake bitten. So I don't know if I want to really blame John Harbaugh, honestly.
But for Sunday night, I would agree with you because the fumble's what turned it. Yeah. But 17 of them, I don't care how long you're around, that is a fourth. And then he came out in his press conference and he said, we need to reevaluate how we finish games. Yeah.
I didn't
You
realize.
think?
I didn't realize it was 17 fourth quarter. Yeah, that
It's
made
over
me
a bunch of years, but I mean that. But then just you can't get over the hump.
2008 when
Then he
became
hired
the Ravens.
And he was a special teams coach. Everybody was like, "Who are you hiring?
No.
Like, who are you?"
Now, I do want to give you one little tidbit, Bruce. Maybe not in the regular season, but preseason, if you gamble at all,
Yeah.
put a little money on the Ravens preseason.
Yeah,
They don't lose.
They go undefeated.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That much is true. But yeah, look, I didn't realize that it was 17 fourth quarter collapses. So yeah,
Double digits.
I'm wow,
Not just a collapse,
Wow,
double digit leads.
I may have to reevaluate my opinion of it then based on that.
That's kind of like, and we'll talk. You know, we might not have time today because you got that very important turkey meeting that you got to get to. I'm being serious there, because the charity side. But I know I made it sound like I was making fun of it, and I didn't mean to make fun of it. But kind of like Torey Lovello, eventually a voice goes, and you know what you got.
Yeah.
And John Harbaugh, if you keep having those same issues, you can't get over that hump. At some point, you got to go, we can't get over that hump.
Yeah.
We need to make a change for that reason. That's also dangerous, though, right?
Yeah, because sometimes, like, look, I find myself lamenting the fact that we let Monty Williams get away with the Suns. Because, I mean, he changed the standards and the winning, and then when
Players
he's gone,
turned on him, though.
when he left, you say, okay, good. Well, we'll take Frank Vogel. And that doesn't work out. Well, good. We'll use Mike Budenholzer. And I'm like, dang, man, I miss Monty.
Yeah, but in that case, the players turned on Monty with that whole Ayton thing.
Yeah, the
players
thing with the
turned on
Dallas
him a little
Mavericks.
bit, and-
Yeah. So you and that's the only trepidation I would have relative to John Harbaugh.
That's actually what surprises me the most is that team hasn't turned on the coaching staff, because if you keep failing, I mean, you could talk about this as a locker room guy. It's just every year you
say,
make
you can say he can talk about failure because he's used to it. Is that what you're saying? I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah. But if you get to the NFC Championship game every year but lose it, eventually players are gonna go.
Yeah.
But that's again a little bit. The players have to take some responsibility for that, because again, and I'll argue with anybody. Everybody says if Jimmy would have stayed, we'd have won 4 Super Bowls in a row. And I looked Troy straight in the eye and said, we were down 21-0 in that third NFC Championship game before you got your popcorn. We were down 21-0 with 6 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Jimmy had nothing to do with any of that. And so you can only blame the coach for so much, and always beware of, hey, we're one game away from the Super Bowl, we just can't get over the hump. Well, players need to play a little bit better, and things could always be a lot worse.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem. I always point to that Nebraska thing. We're in Nebraska. We don't win 9 games a year. Yeah. Well, you're right, because now you've won 6 since you made that move, right?
You change from the Big 12 to the Big 10, and now I don't even know that they exist.
Hey, top of the hour is coming up, but I want to give some credit to the Big 12 here, gentlemen. And Dale, you're going to be floored that I'm about to do that. Do you see the Big 12 suspended a refereeing crew from this weekend?
No.
Yeah, because they made a mistake in the Kansas-Missouri game.
And fined them.
Yeah.
Wait.
We've never seen this in sports history before.
What did I miss?
So in the Missouri-Kansas game, they gave them a free kick when they shouldn't have, basically, at the end of that game. And so egregious miscalculation of the rules and things like that. So the Big 12 officials allowed a punt to occur on a free kick in violation of Rule 2, Section 16, Article 6, Bruce, which you're going to repeat for us right now.
Yeah, not a chance.
So this officiating crew has been removed from its next scheduled assignment, which was going to be Friday night as well. And like Dale said, fine, we don't know how much on that. But the shocking thing about this is they made an egregious mistake on the field. Most leagues push this underneath the rug and go, mistake was made. Oh, well, we move on. And the Big 12's like, nope, you guys are suspended and fired and, suspended. And basically, if you mess up like this again, you're done and things like that. I mean, you got to give credit to the Big 12 here for stepping up and doing this.
Well, Brett Yormark is their commissioner, if you will. And I just can't. I mean, that's unprecedented.
Yes, it
yes.
is unprecedented.
Never heard of it before. Now, that happens, in all fairness, that happens in Major League Baseball. Umpires get suspended. You just never hear about it. They take a vacation.
I got a trivia question for you, Coop. The next time you're out at the bars and
Okay.
hooping and hollering.
Okay.
What's the most played Division I rivalry in history of college football?
The most played
Yeah.
Army Navy, I'd say.
Missouri.
I was saying it's a border one.
What?
18. What is it?
Missouri,
18?
Kansas.
1892
Yeah, something like that.
is
yeah.
when they started. Yeah, 1891. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
1891.
Can you imagine they carried that much back then?
You can probably win a beer, Bruce.
I was going to say something with Notre Dame in it, but I felt like it was a trick question, so that's why I went with our military.
Yeah, I think I saw that on here. Yeah, but as we go to break here at the top of the hour, this is what the Big 12 said. We believe we have one of the best officiating programs in college football. When the conference's high standard of officiating is not met, Big 12 will take action.
Well, they didn't take action in the Arizona State Mississippi State game.
Which was
Because the Big 12,
refs.
the Big 12 was reffing that game, and I got a major issue. I got a major issue.
We're going to talk about it. Bruce is with us. Dale's going to be with us, too, for the next half an hour before he's got to take off today. But we'll get into that. Of course, Cardinals talk as well. Because I am on the side of Drew Pensing's not a good offensive coordinator. And
I
a lot
was
of
not
people
happy with that
blame
team.
Kyler Murray. So let's talk about it when we come back with Bruce Cooper. Come back and join us. And we're back here. Let's not throw that on air, Bruce. Come on. Not going to all get fired on your first day here. On that, but, of course, Bruce Cooper is going to join us on Tuesdays coming up. Today he's taking off about 9:30 to go do some meetings on his Turkey Tuesdays coming up. If you don't know, how long have you been doing that now?
Is that well, I tell you what, I did it for 30 years
Yeah.
now. This is year 30 for me doing
Amazing.
Turkey Tuesday.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then giveaway turkeys for Thanksgiving. Right?
Absolutely.
Which this year, everybody might have to get on board. The way grocery prices
Oh
are
my
going,
goodness.
right?
Oh my goodness.
So obviously donations and stuff. We'll talk a little bit about that as it goes on as well,
Sure.
and promote it as well as you get all the details in and stuff like that, because it is a great cause out there. But obviously, Cardinals over the weekend leave New Orleans with a 1-0 record going into the season. But you said right before the break there, you were not happy about your Arizona Cardinals.
I was not. Look, I expected to see the Cardinals win by double digits. And let me tell you why. You know, Spencer Rattler, who's from here in the Valley at
You saw
Pendleton
him
High
play,
School.
right?
I did. Oh, he's a tremendously gifted quarterback, but this was only his 7th start in the NFL. And so in his first start of the season, he was in a big quarterback duel with Tyler Shuck, another Valley quarterback guy from Hamilton High School in Chandler. And so he won that race, or that duel. And so I expected to see the Cardinals and really throw a lot of pressure at Rattler.
Yes.
I expected Josh Sweat, a guy the Cardinals invested heavily in to bring in, to add some pressure. Dude, they had one sack, and that's Baron Browning.
But Sweat only had one tackle.
Right, and Rattler had way too much time to pass, and I'm like, it's like the Cardinals sat back and they gave him all the underneath stuff. I'm like, dude, I mean, what the heck's going on here?
Especially when you have Alvin Kamara, right? That can do it.
Absolutely, and so the Cardinals' lack of aggression defensively allowed the Saints to stay in the game and to gain. And anytime you allow a team, that old saying, you allow a team to hang around. I mean, they're going to gain some confidence,
especially at home.
Win. Yeah, then they can win the game. And then offensively, I thought the Cardinals were very underwhelming. Here's a team that last year was a top 5 rushing team. Okay, and so I didn't see James Conner with any of those devastating Cam Scatterboo-like runs that he's famous for. And I didn't see the offensive line like really firing out. Look, Cam Jordan, another Valley native, who he was in the backfield quite a bit, unblocked.
What's he, 62 years old?
Do you remember his freshman year way back when he was there? Where'd he go, Chandler?
Look,
Chandler, right?
Look, he was our Friday Night Fever Defensive Player of the Year.
Was he really?
Yeah,
What year was that? Do you remember?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Because he's been around
That's
for a
too
long
much.
time.
That's too much. But yeah, but his dad, Steve Jordan, was a longtime player with in Dale's era.
Yeah, with the Vikings.
With the
We
Vikings.
did play cross paths. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just underwhelmed by what I saw. And I thought the Cardinals were very fortunate to walk out with a win, and I think the coach called it, and some of the players are calling it an ugly win. Man, that it's an ugly fortunate win because let me tell you something. That pass that Rattler made on third down that turned
Such a
into
good
fourth
throw.
down to Juwan Johnson in the end zone. Oh man, I thought we had tied that, they had tied the game up at that
Right.
point. So the
Well,
Card-
he had caught it. It just
yeah,
they did a
yeah,
good job of knocking it
yeah,
out.
yeah. I think Jalen Thompson.
They
and
gave
Budda
that
Baker.
credit to Buda Baker
Yeah.
for some reason, but it looks like Thompson got it. But
Right,
for some reason
right.
Buda got the
Yeah,
credit.
but they were very fortunate, very underwhelming game. And so now they play a Carolina Panthers team that I didn't coming into the season. I was trying to look at the schedule and I said I don't know which team is worse, the Saints or the Panthers. But the Cardinals are fortunate to have them the first two games out of the gate. They should be an easy 2-0. Heck, I don't even know anymore.
Well, the way that I look at it
the
is
negativity, Bruce.
Hey, I got to call it like it is.
the way I look at it, you brought up Sweat's name. Gosh, I had intimate knowledge of a Super Bowl MVP who got a huge contract because of it, and he wasn't worthy of that contract.
He went to the Raiders, right?
He did.
Yeah, he went to the Raiders.
Larry Brown.
Larry Brown. But Josh Sweat, he's an 8-sack guy, and he had a great Super Bowl, so he got a lot of money. I mean, if he ends up with 9 sacks this year, that's kind of who he is. But people are going to be disappointed because of the expectations were raised during the Super Bowl. I'm more concerned about the offense. I think the defense will come together. Offensively, I don't see any explosion. I'm happy that Marv Harrison can catch a deep ball that's kind of contested. That's improvement. But I don't see the explosiveness from this offense. Again, game one, I always tell Steve, I'm not going to get two heads over heels.
This
over
is the
one game.
offense, though. It's the same offense we saw as last year. It's a boring offense. It's it's hand the ball off. It's throw it underneath. Here's this stat for you guys right here. I want to bring up to you. And this comes from NFL.com. Things they looked at in the game and everything from Sunday. And this drives me nuts about Kyler Murray, besides running out of bounds behind,
But by the way, we talked about this yesterday, Bruce, and you probably don't even pay much attention to it, and rightfully so. But there were 2 times where Kyler Murray ran out of bounds a half yard short of the line of scrimmage.
Second drive of the game. So he got 2 sacks, and nobody was around him.
And the offensive line they gave up 5 sacks. That's gonna by the end of the year, you're not gonna remember he ran out of bounds, but it's still gonna be on the total.
Yeah,
Right.
One
Well-
time he slid at the line of scrimmage, and the other time he stepped out right behind the line of scrimmage. So.
Yeah, well, I know we've talked about the fragility of some quarterbacks around the NFL, and that's a play I don't really mind seeing a quarterback do if it's going to mean that they don't get hit.
That wasn't the case, though.
I agree. I think he could have kept running out of bounds and made it out of bounds given his speed and athleticism.
Throw the ball away. Is he
But-
not?
yeah,
throwing,
yeah,
that's
you
my
can't-
question.
you can't
Is
do
he
that
not
now.
throwing it away because he's trying to preserve his stats?
Steve. That's a very good point.
Well, hold
That's
on.
a very good point.
Yeah, but
Thank you,
Bruce,
everybody. I'll see you later.
But Bruce, you know where he got that from?
No.
Because I told him the story. When I was in Buffalo, Jim Kelly came in my second year. And Jim Kelly's mind, back then, this is the 80s NFL football, completing 60% of your passes was Pro Bowl level. And so that was the number he wanted that he had in his head that he needed to reach. So he would hold on to the ball. He would take a sack rather than throw the ball away. Well, guess what? After about a half a season, the offensive lineman, me being one of them, say, "What the hell are you doing? You're making us look bad." And then it came out he wanted to complete 60% of the passes. Well, he obviously adjusted, and they went on to have a lot of
He
success.
played all right.
But he wouldn't throw the ball away.
Yeah.
If you could take an 8-yard sack or run out of bounds a yard before the line of scrimmage, just throw the ball.
That was the MO of Shedeur Sanders last year in Colorado, taking those backward sacks for 30-yard losses because he refused to throw it away because it was his stat line.
Yeah.
And it's just some quarterbacks do it. But I don't know if that's him,
No.
or I don't know if it's just he's like, all right, I'm going to do the safe thing and get it, and he doesn't realize he's a yard back or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know which it is.
That's a very good. I think that he could do more of that. Because he's gifted enough to get outside of the pocket, and when you see the defense converging on you or collapsing on you, hey, just flip it out of bounds.
Yeah. You're on the sideline, literally just boom. It's not difficult.
Well, we
to
saw
do.
Spencer Rattler do it a couple times.
Yeah, and here's the deal: it's not like Kyler needs the stats because he's got his money.
Right.
That's
He's
issue
got his
number
bag.
two.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, exactly. So, but what I've been trying to figure out last year and this year is it Drew Penzing or is it Kyler Murray? And I lean on the Drew Penzing side of it because I watched the All 22 film. I haven't seen this week's yet, but I think the offensive, the play calling, the receiver routes are unimaginative. They don't put anybody into motion. I think everybody runs the same route. Like he has a guy, run a 10-yard in, but then he's got a guy running a 4-yard in underneath him. And Kyler Murray's got to decide which is the open guy. Kurt Warner did a great video on it last year. It's not just the Cardinals. That seems to be the trend of offensive coordinators out there and stuff like that. But then also, this stat is amazing because I went to look this up and I found this next-gen stats stuff here. Kyler Murray completed 8 of 10 passes for 71 yards, 2 touchdowns against the blitz on the day, right? So he had a passer rating of 135.8 there. Last year, he had a passer rating of 79 against the blitz, 4th lowest in the NFL. So that was a focal point, at least in game 1. He had some success against the blitz, right, from that side. Here's my problem, though. He targeted pass catchers behind the line of scrimmage 31% of his attempts. That's the 6th highest rate in a game in his career. He completed 9 for 20 yards and a touchdown. Is this a check down team? Is it Kyler Murray making a check down team, or is it the way the offense is called in design, or is it the lack of wide receivers not named Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Well,
or a combination.
I will say this much. The Cardinals are a 2-receiver team. Tight end Trey McBride.
Oh, I was going to say, who's the second one?
Wide receiver Marvin Harrison.
Right.
And if they want to ascend and absolutely be an explosive type team with these big explosive on offense, they're going to have to develop and find these other receivers that you're talking about. I agree with you 1,000.
Nobody gets open.
Yeah, well,
I'll be there this weekend, so I'll see. I haven't seen the All 22 from last week. Last year, guys would not get open. And then if guys got open, Kyler Murray would find them late because, he's being pressured or whatever. But guys don't get open on the field. And it's just like, what? Then I watch other games, like the Bills-Ravens, and those guys running wide open down the field for 10 yards before anybody covers them, and Josh Allen finds them, And it's an amazing thing to watch. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is it the offensive coordinator's calls? Is it the design of the offense? Or is it the limitation of their clientele, their personnel? But I guess my whole point on this is you're going to be disappointed by this Cardinals offense all season.
Yeah,
the defense is what's going to be good on this
I
team.
think Michael Wilson can be an emerging receiver on this team.
For, what, 4 years now? 3 years now?
But let me tell you something. There are games in which he absolutely shows out his hand-eye coordination. And so then the next 2 or 3 games, it's like, where is he? It's almost like they don't utilize him in there. Zay Jones has been an effective. Well, he's been a very big disappointment in the Cardinals, but he's been an effective receiver elsewhere. Yeah. And so, to answer your question, I'm going about a roundabout way. I think it's Petsy.
Okay, so you agree with me on that?
Yeah, I really do, because I have seen. Matter of fact, even when the Cardinals had some injuries, Greg Dortch out of the slot, he's made some big catches things, but they just don't seem that they have them designed in their scheme.
Greg Dortch should be running out of that slot or running out of the backfield every play because he's a threat to the defense. And they don't do it until they do it, and then he catches 20 yards and they don't go back to it again.
But
it's frustrating.
Let's go back to Kevin O'Connell. The second touchdown pass that even gave the Vikings the lead for the first time that McCarthy threw, it was to Aaron Jones, a running back out of the backfield. They didn't give him out in the flat. He went deep and one-on-one against the linebacker. Look, we've seen DeMarcado be effective in the passing game. I mean, James Conner has been a surprise to me in the passing game. Why don't you utilize or even draft a receiver, a running back that you have confidence in? Because it opens things up. I don't know if you guys remember a guy named David Johnson.
I remember that 1 year.
Yeah. Oh, and it was a spectacular season. It got him paid, but he showcased a lot of skill as a receiver downfield. And look, I just think the Cardinals are wasting some opportunities here, especially when you have McBride in his prime. You have
Tip Ryman. I mean, he had 1 catch for 10 yards, but Tip Ryman's if you have McBride and Ryman going out on route, how are you covering that? How are you covering that as a defense?
The thing about when you talk about the running back, what's so fascinating about that Aaron Jones thing last night, one-on-one matchup against a linebacker, you have a running back that can catch the ball. That's nearly impossible for the defense to cover. It's just a mismatch from the time the ball's snapped. You got a 250, 260-pound linebacker trying to cover a 200-pound running back who can run routes. That's devastating.
But it also pulls someone else out of the box, allows you to go through a progression,
right.
And you can find some open. I just don't.
Kyler Murray doesn't go through progression.
Well,
he does, but he's like 1, 2, and then his ball's got to come out or he's running.
Yeah,
he doesn't go through 3
I'm just unimpressed with what I saw from the Cardinals on both sides
Game
of the ball.
1,
Son.
they didn't play it all in the preseason. They played the first game.
It is, and you do have to.
I'm more concerned about the offensive line and defensive line. Those should be strengths on this team, and they weren't against. Now, that's the healthiest the Saints are going to be, and they have talent on that team. In Week 12, they won't have talent there as guys will get out with, age and stuff like that. But Week 1, it was kind of a shocker. I think that was my biggest.
Well, I think so many teams these days, Bruce, are using the first and second and third games as their preseason.
Have you noticed that everybody looks so, not just Cardinals game, everybody looks so exhausted in the fourth quarter?
Because they haven't played but 8 snaps in a preseason game. And
2-hour practices.
I've always been of the thinking, since everybody's going that way, that I'm going to take advantage of those first 2-3 games. I'm going to play my guys in the preseason. Hey, if you get hurt, you're going to get hurt. At the end of the day, you get hurt in practice, you can get hurt in the game. But I can take advantage of those first 2 or 3 games. And guess what? They don't count less than they do in December. They still count as 1 win or 1 loss. They don't count extra in December, but you steal 2 or 3 in September, and all of a sudden you got a little cushion on the backside.
Being a fantasy football league player that I am, I'm very much aware of this. There were really only 3 quarterbacks this weekend who really, threw the ball effectively, and they made some things happen. You had Josh Allen in Buffalo, Lamar Jackson, and Baker Mayfield. Those were the top 3 quarterbacks in my league. Now, I have a guy named Joe Burrow, who I thought was really going to do something.
There's 7 yards in the second half. Didn't do it for you.
Even look when you look at their talent level, and you see that Jamar Chase had 2 catches for 26 yards.
Just paid
you
2
see
receivers.
T. Higgins 3 catches for 33 yards. Come on, Joe. Come on, I need you. I lost.
So in other words, 7 yards in the second half doesn't help your fantasy team.
No, that's fine. So look, I think Dale may be onto something. I think too many teams are, trying to stay away from getting their star players injured in preseason, and so now Game 1 was really their
second preseason.
Yeah.
It's the first month of the season. We'll have to see. Robert says, after watching games this weekend, aren't you guys concerned about the lack of athletic ability in the running back room? He says, Connor's running a 9.840 at this point in his career. Benson doesn't seem to have any vision. See, Connor's job is to wear down the defense by pounding it in there and wear him down on that side. And then he'll break some open later on in the game. Trey Benson, I can't stand dancing. And that's my problem with ASU's running back room right now. Kwame Brown is a dancer, and it drives me nuts watching him run the football.
Yeah.
So in terms of the Cardinals, I want to see how they go, but I think that's how they have it by design.
I think their most explosive running back is not even active on game days. That'd be Bam McKnight.
Was he not active? He wasn't even on special teams. I didn't pay attention. I'm not.
I know people have seen the explosions, demarcado in terms of once he gets a step, he can go. But Bam has some vision, some wiggle, and some burst. And so I think he's their most explosive running back, but I don't think you're going to see him too much this year, barring any injury. So
You'll get injuries from somebody. Somebody's going to get injured on that running back squad.
Yeah,
It's going to come quickly. So ASU side of it, I mean, I said a month ago, it had to been July or August. It had to been July or June. I said ASU, everybody was talking about not having Cam. That was going to be an issue. In my opinion, they solved we don't have Cam, they can't run the football thing in this game the other night. But I brought it up, it had to be June or July, where I said ASU's problem is who's the other receiver besides Jordan Tyson. And they proved the other night they do not have a second receiver on this team.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you there.
Right.
This ASU receiving core is much better and much deeper than it was a year ago.
That's not good.
Yeah. And so, look, I don't know what it was about Sam Levitt. It seems like it took him like 2 or 3 games to get rolling last year because once he did, but he's missing throws. Let me tell you something. They had Jalen Moss transfer in from Fresno State. Moss catches like 100 balls a year. They had Jaron Hamilton transfer in from Alabama. Jaron Hamilton was a 5-star recruit going to Alabama. His only problem was he couldn't see the field because of the talent. So he's here. He tore it up in ASU practices. He's a deep threat.
And the game happened, Bruce.
Yeah, Harry. Well, here's the deal. You have to have a quarterback that's going to look that way.
Yeah, I mean, they were open. Sam Levitt, I saw game film. Sam Levitt missed.
Yeah,
he didn't even look at guys that were wide open.
Yeah, I think his problem is he looks too much to Tyson. You know, I think that could be a problem. Look, Mateer, their tight end, he's an NFL prospect based on his ability to catch and block the ball.
Did they even throw at him once?
No. And they have a true freshman tight end in Ia that's not seeing the field right now. But I just think that ASU is not utilizing the talent to its fullest on their roster. I mean, I really do. Look. I'll be the first to admit I didn't know anything about Kanye Udo. Look, he ran hard, and let me tell you something. Raleek Brown, he's added like 10.
What I say?
Yeah, he's added 10 pounds of muscle. But look,
but he dances too much.
You can say that. You can say that. But he had 110 yards rushing. Udo had over 100, and I'm like, look, that collectively that's enough.
Yeah. No, that is enough. But it comes down to, what is it about the quarterback that has changed from the end of last year? Here you come in, high expectations. You think another year, another offseason, that he would hit the ground running.
Dale, it really looked to me in watching the first 2 games, he's relied a lot on those press clippings, even though he said all the right things.
Yeah.
You know, I think this loss may be good for him in the sense that it can get him back to what he did last year. He did a much better job in throwing the ball around, and I mean, and look, Jordan Tyson was prolific. He was all that. When he went down, you know, Malik stepped in and had some big catches. The kid,
but they didn't have too many guys step up on the wide receiver side after he went down. That was part of the issue.
Well, look, I didn't have a problem with what I saw in that Texas game. I mean, they blew out Iowa State. I didn't have a problem with what I saw in the Texas game. The number 1, God, what was his name? He transferred in from Idaho State. He had a big touchdown catches for him. I can't think of his name right now, but he's
can't go back to last.
Yeah, he went back. Yeah, he's out of
That's a long time ago.
But I'm just saying that this receiving core that ASU has right now is deeper and more talented than what we saw a year ago. Sam Levitt's going to have to do a better job in his accuracy and in his progressions, because if he's, and I've seen a couple of mock NFL drafts. He's the first quarterback in a couple of these mocks. You know, that's how highly he's been regarded. But I'm telling you, after you watch the first couple of weeks, not only would you dismiss that, you even dismiss the Heisman Trophy talk you're hearing about him.
But what I want to get your thoughts on is, I think Kenny Dillingham endeared himself to the fans last year. Ultra aggressive, going forward on 4th down. Now, some of that was because you had you or me as place kicker, and I didn't have a whole lot of confidence in it. But go back to Saturday, 4th down on the goal line there. Last year, I think he goes for that. This year, he kicks a field goal. Do you think there's any change in his mindset as we're looking at this season?
You know what? I think that with the expectations now, and he's raised the standards. I think he's brought a little bit more conservativeness out of him, if that's a word. You know, he like you said, he was ultra aggressive last year. He was like the Detroit Lions. I mean,
Yes.
every 4th down, he's going for it. Well, he had a great opportunity there. I thought that was a great opportunity for him. If you fail, the game is still tied. They have to go 99 yards with no timeout.
Right.
99.5 yards.
Well,
I think
99
it
and a half
was.
yards, no timeout.
That's a
and
big
so,
deal. Yeah.
and so I thought that was a missed opportunity. So I was curious to hear what he would say if anyone would ask him about that in the postgame. Sure enough, they did, and he said he did the right thing. He would do it 1,000 times. Take the lead and rely on your defense. Well, that defense, it seems like when they played in a cover 3, that they were able to bottle up Mississippi State's receivers. They kept them in front of them.
Right.
Anytime they decided they wanted to gamble and blitz, they went one-on-one, and they got confused, especially with them Mississippi State running trips and then running some wiggles off those trips, and
Right.
then they confused the DBs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, explain trips to people at home, because for the people that don't understand what you're breaking down there.
okay. When you put 3 receivers out to the same side of the field, yeah, and so
Well,
that's
that's the thing. They got picked off, stuff like that. But that's where the last play, the cover 0 last play, baffles me. And we played it before you got here and you were walking in. Kenny Dillingham saying, that we're trying to be aggressive in that moment. But which
it
is
was
what,
3rd and 9.
But-
Look, I'm still
but it
pissed
drives
about
me
4th
nuts.
and 13.
Yeah,
I
that's-
can't get over 4th and 13. That's 3rd and 9. Come on.
and it's like. It's like you're conservative on this end and kick the field goal, and then you go ultra aggressive when you can lose later on.
it's something.
You should have been aggressive down here, where worst case you're tied at 99.5 yards down the field. You need to be aggressive there and not in that moment, and they keep going back to being aggressive in that moment, and that's where I kind of just like, yeah. But I also think, and let me get your thoughts on this here. I said it yesterday. I think this coaching staff came into this season and they said, Sam Levitt, Jordan Tyson, they're all hyped for all this stuff. They're going to be our focal point. And I think what we've learned after 2 games is run the damn ball, and then your passing game will open up for those guys. And we learned that in the second half of this game. We saw it in the second half. We all wanted it kind of before that. And I think the coaching staff came into the season kind of the same thing, reading the papers, etc. So now they're like, well, these are our 2 guys. We got to make sure we force it down. That's all they did was that first half of that game. It wasn't working for Sam Levitt. Like, you stop having him throw the ball with all the mistakes that were being made out, and they just kept forcing it.
Yeah, look. I love his heart. I love his tenacity. I love his aggression. I'm talking about Sam Levitt. I just hope. I hope he tempers his running style, because this dude he
takes
still
hits.
wants to run through the defenders.
Yeah.
Dude, if you get hurt, we're left with Jeff Sims, and that's just not a good solution there. You need to stay healthy. So I'd like to see him pull a few more Kyler Murrays and just slide. To be honest with you. But look. He's going to have to turn into that Sam Levitt of last year, where his accuracy is there regardless of his target.
But they didn't play well in the first 5 games last year, and then they turned it on. Of course, they'd won those games, which obviously put them on the map. Then they lost at Cincinnati and stuff like that.
They only lost to Cincinnati because that's the game that Levitt meant, because
And it was
he
the
got
9
hurt.
kickoff.
Yeah.
And they struggled at the beginning of it, and then they woke up and made it a game and stuff like that. But, I'm not surprised by seeing a slow start, because we saw it last year on top of it. I mean, would we rather not see it? Yes. But I do think young coaching staff, let's face it, I mean, a lot of experienced coaches on the staff, but they're high school coaches.
But the difference is the slow start last year. Just like I'm not
No
concerned right now
expectations.
about the Cardinals.
Yeah.
A slow start last year, but they beat Texas State. Even though they didn't play well,
Yes, yeah.
even though they had to come back and it was ugly, they won the game. This is
Yeah.
the game against Mississippi State. Very winnable game. You know, I mean,
When I turned it off, they won it.
I mean, Steve and I argue all the time about the SEC, and he thinks they get too much pomp and
Way
circumstance.
too much pomp and circumstance.
And all that. And I just said, hey, the college football playoffs should be Big 10, Big 12, and let's move on. Get all the riffraff out of there.
Makes me angry that he says that, Bruce.
Ah,
Hey, before you take off,
First of all, it's comments like that we need the dunce hat. We need just put them in a closet. I mean,
makes me angry with
you
those
talk about
SEC
the
talk.
idiocy. I mean, come on.
I mean, you maybe throw SMU in there and then leave one Big 10 team out.
He thinks SMU's got a chance, but Florida State's resurgence this year in that
I was surprised.
ACC.
I was very surprised. I was very surprised. I mean, boy, you talk about being on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think there was
Norvell
a coach. Yeah, I don't
turns
think
it around.
I don't think there was a coach on the had a hotter seat
Wow.
than Norvell. I really do mean that. I mean, it was brutal. Look, the year before, yeah, you felt bad for him because they lost their quarterback and they kept him out. But last year, dude, how do you explain last year? It was brutal.
Same thing. Came in expecting to win, and they did. Young coaching staff, never in that position. Like, people, I think, are overlooking. This is Kenny Dillingham and most of his coaching staff's first time with this type of press, too. Kenny Dillingham last week went on like 17 different national shows to promote the program. Like, he's being torn in several different ways on that. You know, it's an adjustment level on that, and I think that could be affecting it here at the beginning, too. So something to watch going forward. But before you take off, your Diamondbacks. Torey Lovello, stay or go? Because he's staying. I've resigned myself to the fact he's staying after this year. Your quick thoughts.
Well, look, you certainly can't fault him for the glut of impactful injuries. I mean, your two back end closers, your ace pitcher.
They weren't closers because he refused to name a closer.
Well, but I didn't have a problem with that because they were both worthy of that spot. You know, A.J. Puck and Martinez, I mean, look, one throws the ball 150 miles. I'm exaggerating.
105.
And the other is a very effective lefty who mixes things up and has a nice little sweeper with him. And so they were both instrumental in what the Diamondbacks did a year ago. And so you came in with a lot of optimism this year based on that talent. And so, look, the Diamondbacks have blown like 38
games,
38 games.
Record.
I mean, if you just cut that in half, you're already.
If they've won 9 other games this year, they're in the wild. They're ahead of the Mets.
And so it makes a difference. And so,
but who's that? That's not on. They had those injuries, but they also had nobody to fill in on those.
Well,
spots.
I can't. You can't blame the manager for that. The manager, he coaches up the players that's provided to him.
Here's my problem, and I struggle with Torey, and I argue with Dale about this all the time. Is we know what Torey is. Like, look at this team now. When there was expectations, when they had high-level veterans on this team before the injuries, this team wasn't focused, making errors, not pitching well, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
Now, injuries are gone. Trade deadline comes. They get rid of a couple veterans out there. Now, all of a sudden, they're playing like they should have played earlier.
Yeah.
They play better under Torey with zero expectations. You're not going to win. Even though he made the World Series a couple years ago, that was surprising fashion. It's the same Torey team that year. So you got a blip on that one. But that's where I struggle with him. And it's like you need somebody that can win under those expectation levels, and I don't think he's got it.
You make a great point there. I mean, this team, and this is what really drives me crazy. The year they went, and we were talking just 2 years ago, they went to the World Series.
They backed into the playoffs.
Say you back in is all you want to, but they had a mantra. It was something that with the word chaos. They created chaos, and so they ran the bases. They used their speed and their They used their speed. They used their athletic. They played some small ball type stuff, and they used their pitching. So it was pitching and defense that carried them. So now they've gotten away from that. They really have. I mean,
Torey said after the trade deadline, hey, they started running, and then somebody asked him, hey, why are you running more? And he goes, well, we're more athletic now. And I went, you've had Corbin Carroll on this team all year. What do you mean you're more athletic now?
You've had Carroll, McCarthy,
Well,
look,
McCarthy was up and down. for a
yeah, he
while
was.
there,
He
so.
was. He
But
was.
I mean, Corbin Carroll stole a couple bases, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, we're more athletic now. It's like, no, Corbin's beating.
Yeah. I just felt like they got away from their identity. The
I don't
thing
disagree.
the thing that made
Those
them
analytics, Bruce.
yeah, the thing that made them special. And so now they get a guy named Eugenio Suarez, and so now they want to swap the ball a lot. Now I have no problem with having a home run hitter on the team, but you can't. You don't need.
Beautiful.
You don't need 9 home run hitters on the team.
No, we've done that
They,
before.
they,
here, right?
they have to get back to their identity, and their identity is using their defense and their speed.
and having their star player actually show up and play and not miss games. We'll talk about that with Bruce next Tuesday as well. Joining us every Tuesday.
Every
coming up
Tuesday,
here
guys.
as well. 8:30 till the end of the show, except for when he's got important charity meetings you got to go take care
I
of.
gotta take that. Hey, I'll see you guys next Tuesday, and we'll be talking about how terrible of a predictor that Dale Hellestrate is, because we know he's going to pick the Carolina Panthers to beat the Cardinals this week, and he's got his SMU Mustangs favored to win as well. Oh, jeez, this guy.
ASU and Sun Devil, ASU and Cardinals win this weekend.
Jeez, boy, you know what? If they don't, we're in major trouble. We're in major trouble. But I do think that both are. Cardinals are home opener. Carolina Panthers, one of the worst teams in the NFL.
they look terrible.
Cardinals should win. Sun Devils return home against Texas State.
14.5 point favorites. by the way.
I think that Sam Levitt starts to play up to his capabilities. Yeah.
I think that's a make-right game for ASU. I think practices this week are going to be on point. We won't hear it very much, but I think the practices are going to be on point. And I do think with the way this team is, I think that was a wake-up call. Those first two games. First game was easy to write off as our first game. Then the Mississippi State, how it happened. I think this team now goes, we better start playing. So,
Absolutely.
And if they come out, I told Dale yesterday, if they come out in that first quarter on Saturday night, 7:30 p.m., they're at Mountain American Stadium, and they are terrible in that first quarter, send the alarm bells, because this is going to be a god-awful season. for
I'll
the
be
Sun
booing
Devils
if that's
at
the
that
case.
point, right? So Bruce will be back next Tuesday. Appreciate it
next
very
Tuesday.
much. Everybody else will get the show done.
Steve.
The main event.
All right.